In the heart of the famous Sabi-Sand Reserve, the story of a ghost lion spread. A cunning lion born into a weak pride that managed to escape the grip of the most ruthless coalition in Africa, the Mapogo lions. This ghost lion was called Sizanani, who lived a life full of challenges and created a strong lineage until his end came. He concluded his life with heroism, in a way that left the eyes of visitors and reserve protectors filled with tears after watching this lion for years. Today's story features the hero Sizanani, who overcame the traps of fate and became a majestic and powerful king during his reign in 2007, when the Sabi-Sand Reserve witnessed the invasion of two powerful brother lions, Blondie and Dizzy, into the Nkuhuma Pride. This pride consisted of 9 lionesses skilled in the tactics of chasing and hunting, especially the mighty African buffalo. After the duo took control, Blondie mated with one of the lionesses, and soon after, their first cubs were born. But before the family could rejoice, the terrifying Mapogos descended on them like a curse. They brought down Blondie, forced his brother Dizzy to flee, while the lionesses refused to surrender. Most of the new cubs were slaughtered brutally, some torn apart and devoured by the Mapogos. Fortunately, one lioness managed to escape with her 6 cubs to the rocks, hiding them and saving their lives. The others who stayed behind, only meters away, were sacrificed to the Mapogos' wrath. 4 of these cubs were females, accompanied by their 2 brothers. One of these males was the firstborn, the one destined to carry the pride's hopes of survival. While living under the shadow of the Mapogos' rule, the lionesses faced the constant threat of hungry hyenas. Yet the struggle for life enabled the 2 males to survive and endure. The Mapogos, after seizing the pride, mated with the lionesses before moving on to conquer another pride. This allowed the fleeing queen to bring back the surviving cubs, who grew into adolescence far from their birthplace. When the Mapogos returned, they could not distinguish that these cubs were not their own, for they had been away during their birth. The blending of the 6 survivors with the rest of the pride ensured their safety. The survivors became known as the Nkuhumas, and they learned buffalo hunting from the experienced lionesses, mastering the craft like their strong mothers. But as with all cubs, the time eventually came for the brothers to leave the pride. This gave them a chance to write a story of their own, different from that of their parents, Blondie and Dizzy. The 2 brothers could have enjoyed a vast and prosperous kingdom, but instead, they chose a life of wandering to gain the strength and experience needed to expand and rule. However, their adventure was quickly challenged when the younger brother suffered a severe hip injury, crippling him. This forced the older brother, Sizanani, to care for him instead of pursuing new lands. Sizanani managed to keep his brother alive until he fully recovered. This was Sizanani's first great achievement, marking the beginning of his many sacrifices for his sibling. The brothers then headed toward the Tin Khan Plains near Kruger National Park, where they seized control of their first pride. Yet, they could not fully enjoy their rule, as it seemed the misfortune of their parents haunted them. To break this cycle of failure, the young lions worked tirelessly to strengthen themselves and defend their new lands. Roving males repeatedly tried to oust them, forcing Sizanani and his brother into countless battles. With each clash, their muscles hardened, and they developed new offensive tactics. Despite their youth, they began to look and act like seasoned kings. They fought against some of the fiercest lions, including the terrifying and legendary Matimba coalition. Though they survived and managed to drive them away, the Matimbas could not accept defeat. They returned again and again, seeking vengeance and unleashing their fury upon Sizanani and his brother in relentless battles. In one of these fights, the younger brother was injured and killed. This broke Sizanani's heart, who had grown used to his loyal companion. With no choice left, he fled, carrying the memory of his parents and the shadow of failure that seemed to haunt his bloodline. The defeated lion wandered aimlessly, unaware of what lay ahead. But many believed he would rise again, his strong lineage fueling the power needed to stand tall and forge his own legacy. Not long after leaving, Sizanani returned to the Sabi Sand Reserve. For weeks, he roamed alone, attempting to rebuild his path and reunite with his pride. He appeared occasionally, scouting the land, then disappeared again, his tracks unknown. Because of his elusive movements, Sizanani was given the title the Ghost. It was said he moved like the wind, light and swift. Eventually, he reappeared with a new pride, living in peace until his first cubs were born. Just as Sizanani began to breathe the air of peace, a coalition of 3 lions challenged him. Still grieving the loss of his brother, he chose not to fight. Instead, he vanished once again, abandoning his pride to the new rulers. For months, no one saw him. Many rangers thought he had died, until he suddenly returned, determined to reclaim his throne and secure the victory he had long awaited. It was then that Sizanani's legend was truly born. In September 2014, he disappeared briefly before returning with another powerful lion. This companion became like the brother he never had. Together, they hunted buffalo and shared dominion. Their partnership drew hundreds of tourists who came to witness their perfect hunting harmony as they conquered lands across the heart of the reserve. Sizanani finally saw his cubs grow and survive, carrying his strong genetic legacy. For the first time in years, he felt true comfort running through his veins. The ghost lion defied expectations. Many thought he would remain a wanderer after his brother's death, but his royal traits and instinct for strength and dominance fueled his persistence. He restored his honor and earned immense respect, even from rival lions. But peace never lasts in the wild. With prey abundant in his territory, Sizanani knew another attack was inevitable. Soon, new lions breached his borders, outnumbering him and his ally. Refusing to lose everything again, Sizanani gathered his pride and retreated, evading the deadly Birmingham coalition that pursued them for months. Eventually, they escaped and settled in new lands. There, they encountered 3 lionesses previously exiled by the Birminghams. Sizanani quickly absorbed them into his pride, strengthening his kingdom with a total of 16 cubs of varying ages. The ghost lion continued his passion for hunting buffalo, breeding, and fortifying his pride. But as he aged, signs of decline began to show, marking the approach of his end. In December 2016, Sizanani was found injured in the hip, the same place where his late brother had been wounded. His condition was worse, leaving him unable to hunt or fight. For months, the lionesses protected and fed him, but the mighty king could no longer resist his pain. Knowing his end was near, Sizanani closed his eyes and left behind his great legacy. He died on October 27, 2017. His death brought tears to the rangers, who carried his frail body and buried him in an honored place where the greatest lions had been laid to rest. His flesh would nourish the land he once ruled, while his spirit would reunite with his brother in the distant savannas of Africa. His powerful lineage would remain honored, a legacy forged with iron will and unmatched cunning.